Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2022-23 season. My name is Dan and today I'm finally showing you my wildcard team that I have made for my young self, as well as showing you who I'm going to be captaining and showing you how I got on last week, although it's not really relevant, still show you just for the fun of it. So guys, if you do enjoy this wildcard video today, please do hit a like button, please do subscribe if you're new around here. It all really helps the channel so much. If we can get 2,000 likes on this video, that would be absolutely amazing. Let's get on with it. Okay guys, so I'm actually very pleased to announce that FPL Mate is now partnered up with Ultimate Champions. If you haven't heard of it before, it's basically a free-to-play fantasy football game. It takes things to the next level though. So it's basically like FPL on steroids, I guess, because of the advanced scoring system. So let me show you an example. Here we have Gabriel Martinelli. As you can see, very, very handsome man. You know, I just think he's handsome. Don't ask me why. You can see he is. He kind of gains points for all kinds of different things. So if you look at this Manchester United game, for example, last game he played in the Premier League, you can see he's getting points for shots on target, for crosses, and he's losing points for things like missed crosses and big chances missed, and like passes and stuff like that. So all of these kind of different things all factor into scoring rather than just your classic goals and assists, which is particularly good if you're thinking about players like Kante. You know, your centre defensive midfielders. If you're one of those people who gets frustrated with FPL not rewarding defensive-minded players in general, then this kind of figures it out. You know, Ultimate Champions just sorts it all out. So this, guys, is my team right now. You can see I have players from all around the world. We've got Moldovan, who is actually... not Moldovan at all, he's Romanian. We've got Johnson Clark-Harris up front. Where are you? There we are. He's actually been a banger player this season. I think he's got something like 5 goals and 1 assist so far this season for Peterborough. And no fantasy team, no FPL team, no fantasy team, no Ultimate Champions team is complete without the absolute legend Martinelli. I mean, I feel like I'm talking about him like quite a lot today. He's just so relevant right now. He's just so relevant. If you want to get more players, you have to pack them. You get packs from just playing and earning those rewards by competing, or you can get packs from the pack store, like you can see here. They even dropped special Arsenal packs today, but it looks like they're mostly sold out. I'm gonna open my pack right now. We've got, oh, it's an epic. It's an epic item. We're doing okay here. Aoani. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm just updating my team now. But the epic card is in the team. There we go, guys. So, if you guys want to get involved, there's a link in the description. You can build your first team. It's really fun to play. I've been playing for a little over a month now. And, yeah, there's also a mini-league that you can join that I made as well if you want to join my mini-league. So, yeah, come and play. Links in the description. Okay, back to FPL, and that's what this video is about after all. Here we have my Game Week 7 scores. I scored 0 points, but so did all of you. So, you know, technically... I'm the best FPL player of the game week, and so are all of you guys, unless, of course, you took minus points, in which case you're unfortunately in the mud, and you can't join us cool gang of everyone being #1 in the world. But yeah, small green arrow, who really cares? Absolute disaster. What is happening this season? It's crazy. Another crazy season. Oh well. Ignore that. Move on to the wild card. That's what we're here for. Right, I already know you're going to hate this wild card for many reasons. The first reason is that I've left quite a lot of money in the bank, but I've genuinely just picked the players that I want the most, and I just so happened that I couldn't spend all of my money. I mean, I'll suggest some kind of switches I may make as we go through, but I don't really need to spend all the money to get a decent team. But maybe you can give your own impressions on this team. But as always, this is just my team. This is not what I'm recommending to other people. There's a few differentials in here that I think are probably a little bit too risky for some of your guys' tastes, and you're probably not going to like it, which is fine. This is very much the team for me, the risky player, the bold player. Okay, guys, so let's have a look in goal first of all. Nick Pope. Don't think that's too much of a surprise. I think everyone is going for Nick Pope as their goalkeeper at the moment, making so many saves at the moment. Has some really, really good fixtures as well. And, you know, he's getting a lot of save points because a lot of shots are coming to Newcastle's way from distance, which is just, he's just racking up save points. And in those low-scoring games, we're probably going to see Pope get the bonus points as well, which is really, really nice indeed. So Pope, yeah, happy with him. Very happy with him. I would definitely recommend him for your goalkeeper. Even if you've got, like, a Newcastle defender in your team as well, I would still recommend going for Pope because I just think he is the best goalkeeper in FPL to go for right now. And I'm sure most people will probably agree with that one. So let's go move on into defence. We've got Cancelo. So straight away, you'll probably notice that means that there's no Trent, because I always put Trent first because he's the most expensive in my defensive lineups. So yeah, I'm without Trent. And let me tell you, it's the first time I've been without Trent in my FPL team for something like 2 years, or maybe even more than that, to be fair. I just always have him. He's like always been so essential, but Liverpool just can't stop conceding goals in all competitions. It's just not looking good right now. So I'm not going to throw all of my money in the defenders. It's just not been working out this season, and we need to kind of readdress where we're going to be spending our budget, or in my case, leaving money in the bank. But we have got Cancelo, so he is going to be one of the, well, kind of really the only major premium defender in this team. Good fixtures, regular clean sheets. We know that Man City just pick up clean sheets like they're going out of fashion completely, which is all good. And yeah, I think he has the potential to get some goals, get some assists. I mean, he's got some attacking returns. If you look across all competitions, he's actually got quite a few attacking returns already this season. So that's quite nice to see, even if his underlying stats are not amazing. Next up, I've got Trippier. So yeah, this Bournemouth and Fulham game are really, really selling Trippier to me, and I'm sure they're selling Trippier to a lot of you guys as well. Like, he's like the most popular player, most popular transferred in player this game week. You'll kind of understand why. He's quite creative, puts in some nice crosses for his teammates, creates chances, takes some set pieces as well, which is really, really nice to see. And the fixtures are incredibly good, and he's got Nick Pope behind him, saving everything. Like, he's such a good goalkeeper. So all in all, he's just a good, sensible, solid pick, and he's rising in price like crazy for very good reason indeed. And then we're going to finish off the defence with Vladimir Sofal, which is a bit of a throwback. I remember first kind of scouting, picking up on Sofal at West Ham and kind of looking at his underlying numbers and kind of thinking, oh, this is a real interesting differential here. And that was like ages ago, like 2 years ago. And I think he was on something like 0.1% ownership then. He's still super differential at 0.9% ownership. He's got really good fixtures. We know Ben Johnson's injured, so Sofal is going to be playing at right back every single game. I don't think West Ham have actually been terrible from a defensive point of view, really. I know they haven't been great going forward, but defensively, I don't think they've been doing too badly. And obviously, because Sofal is a fullback, you are going to get some of those attacking returns as well occasionally, which is nice, which is really nice. So overall, yeah, he's really going to be on the bench most of the time. You'll see my bench shortly has some players that don't have fixtures this game week, which is fine, because remember, when you're building a wildcard team, you're building it for more than one game week, right? And I don't want to book in transfers. I don't want to force myself to have to make transfers that I don't want to make, just by going for 1 week punts and the like. So yeah, so far very much a placeholder for this game week, but he has also got some really good fixtures. So he's going to be that perfect first on the bench kind of options. You look through these fixtures, you expect West Ham to keep a couple of clean sheets in here potentially. And you know what, if we get an attack in return from a 0.9% owned defender, we'll be absolutely flying, which is always, always nice. Going into midfield, we've got Maddison as our first player here, who, yeah, it's like, it's kind of difficult. Obviously, we've got Spurs as this first fixture, which is not particularly ideal. At the end of the day, really, I feel like Spurs have conceded like a couple of goals in all kinds of games, in all kinds of tournaments this season. I don't think Spurs are impenetrable. And although I do believe Leicester aren't very good defensively, one thing that has always been consistent is that going forward and for scoring goals, Leicester have never really had a problem with that. So they concede a lot of goals, but they also are capable of scoring a couple as well. And if you're looking for the form player at Leicester, you'll probably say over the course of this season and over the course of, you know, to be fair, last season as well, second half of last season, it has been Maddison. He's been the main man. He's already got a couple of attacking returns this season already. The fixtures are about to get crazy good for Leicester as well. So I like this as a differential before anyone is really thinking about Maddison, because people think, oh, Leicester are bad, Maddison has not got crazy returns so far. To be fair, he's had pretty bad fixtures, and they'll be kind of put off by this Spurs fixture as well. At the end of the day, I think this is a good pick, and we've kind of seen time and time again, like over the course of several seasons, that if you jump on Maddison at the right moment, you will just get crazy attacking returns from him. And if you can get him like 1, 2, 3 game weeks before everyone else jumps on him, you really are going to be able to capitalise on that. So Maddison is the kind of the jewel in my midfield in a way. I like him. I like him a lot. We got Martinelli here next, who is just, I mean, he's just such good value. You can't really not have Martinelli, I don't think. I just think he's like just the the best player at his price point, to be honest, and I don't see that changing really. He's a 7 million player, he's a 7.5 million player, and you get him for 6.5. So even though Arsenal's fixtures aren't amazing, you still feel like Arsenal will score goals in these games because they're, you know, in really good form, and you feel like if they are going to score goals, again, like we say this every week, it's going to be Jesus or Martinelli. Maybe Saka comes into the conversation as well, but we've seen time and time again, even against Manchester United, he had that goal disallowed, didn't he, the last game week, well, the game week before last. So yeah, Martinelli still absolutely goated, and I can't believe this is the third time I've mentioned Martinelli in this video, or is it the fourth time I've mentioned Martinelli? I don't know. There's a recurring theme here, and it's not that I look like him. So we've got Sam Maximan up next, which I know you guys are going to hate, and I know you guys like there'll be definitely comments in the comment section saying why are you picking Sam Maximan, because those people are not listening to what I'm saying right now, and what I'm saying right now is that Sam Maximan is not definitely in my team. I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to promise you that he's going to be in my team come at the deadline. And the reason for that is I don't know for 100% what his injury status is. I'm waiting for the press conference to come out of Newcastle. We're going to hear about that tomorrow. So when we find out for sure if Sam Maximan is available or not, that's when we'll make the decision. I'm really hoping he is available because he's my Newcastle attacker of choice. Bournemouth and Fulham, these two fixtures are just such a nice pair of fixtures, and you feel like you really got to get a Newcastle attacker for those couple of fixtures. So I'm hoping Sam Maximan's going to be available. If he's not, we do have some money in the bank. I can switch Sam Maximan up to a Phil Foden, for example. I can also get up to a Jared Bowen as well if I move things around a little bit. So yeah, I've still got some potential here to do some different things. So Sam Maximan might not be in the team. It depends on his availability. I really hope he is because he's the player I want the most. But this could turn into a Foden. This could turn into a Jared Bowen, perhaps. Those are probably the main targets I would say that I have in terms of my team. But you know, if we can get Sam Maximan for 6.4 million with those fixtures at this, you know, 6.6% owned super differential, then I think we're going to be pretty happy with that. Like that is a little bit of a cheat code, it feels like, doesn't it? We've got Andreas to finish off the midfield, who is usually, again, ordinarily, he's going to be on my bench. But this game week, I've got two players on my bench that will be in my regular team, who will be playing most game weeks when they do have fixtures. Andreas is there as a placeholder, but you know, he's a great option anyway. You know, Nottingham Forest, I wouldn't be surprised if Andreas did get a couple of attacking returns, or maybe at least one attacking return in this fixture anyway. So I don't think it's a bad pick, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, even if you like, some of you guys will maybe have a wild card, and maybe you'll have Maddison in the wild card, and you might even say, I think I'm going to play Andreas ahead of Maddison. I might bench Maddison and play Andreas instead. So I do think there's going to be a lot of people missing out on Andreas points because they're going to be benching him. Like, he's actually a legitimate option for this game week in this fixture, I would say. So yeah, I'm absolutely fine with playing him, particularly if it means that I can pick some players to put on my bench who have no fixture this week but have good fixtures going forward, who I really want in my team, and it saves me making a transfer. You know, saves me making an extra transfer. You know, like you'll see in a minute who was on the bench. We'll talk about it. Up front, we've got Erling Haaland. Already bought him for my Game Week 7 team, but then he didn't play because no one played. So this is going to be my first time experiencing Haaland in the FPL team. You guys will have to tell me what it's like to be a Haaland owner, because I really have no reference point there. So yeah, let me know. How does it feel? How does it feel to be a Haaland owner? I'm about to experience it with you guys. So yeah, really obvious player to have in your fantasy team. Do we really need to talk about it? Probably not. Anyone on the wildcard now who hasn't got Haaland, it has probably lost the plot. You guys thought that would be me. It's not going to be me. We've still got Harry Kane in here as well. So I do still believe very strongly that Harry Kane is the second best premium player to have. If only he was a midfielder. It would be nice if we could free up a midfield, another forward slot, because there's so many forwards that I want. But I've kind of like worked it out of what kind of things, different things I could do. I just want Kane too much in my team to leave him out. It would be nice if I could have an Isak in here. It would be nice if I could have someone else like, you know, maybe Tony, or maybe someone else. There's so many forwards I kind of want right now, but I can't because I've got Harry Kane in here for now. And I'm pretty set on this one, mostly because I just love this fixture. This Leicester at home fixture is just set up to be an absolute haul for Harry Kane. And then we've got the Arsenal game next. It's a fixture that Kane likes. We've got the Brighton game. We've got the Everton game. These are decent fixtures for Spurs. And Kane has actually been in really, really good form all season. He's been doing really well this year so far. Some of the other players at Spurs, maybe not so much. But in general, Kane has been an absolute superstar. And people kind of... He's been kind of in Haaland's shadow a little bit, and people haven't really recognised just how well he's been doing. So I'm sticking with him. He's still a little bit differential, so that's kind of nice. I kind of like that. So Harry Kane to do his normal business of scoring hat tricks against Leicester. He absolutely loves scoring against Leicester, doesn't he? Let's see what happens there. And finally, we've got Mitrovic, who is another no-brainer. I think for me, he's a no-brainer. I can't really see myself making any wildcard team without Mitrovic. I would probably, I'd rather have Mitrovic than Kane, for example. I'd rather have Mitrovic over pretty much... If I could only have 2 players from this team, I wasn't allowed, and you said, Dan, you are not allowed to have any other players in your team right now other than 2. You can pick 2 to save, the rest have to get in the bin. It would be Haaland, and it would be Mitrovic. Like, his underlying stats are absolutely crazy. Those of you guys who use the Fantasy Football Hub tools, go check it out on the Opta Stats tool on Fantasy Football Hub. It's quite mad. It is quite mad how good his underlying numbers are. And that was whilst playing in difficult fixtures. Now he's got very, very good fixtures. We've got Nottingham Forest next. We've got Bournemouth in a few weeks' time. We've got these crazy fixtures where he's, in theory, can explode because he's been doing so well with the opportunities he's had so far. Imagine him with even more opportunities to score goals. Surely he's just going to go absolutely nuclear. I honestly, genuinely think he could even be a captain option for some of these game weeks. Like Bournemouth, like in that game week where it's Man City against Liverpool, that is a game week where I think you could genuinely captain Mitrovic in a few game weeks' time. Let's see. I don't know if I'm actually brave enough to do it, but I'm just throwing that one out there. I'm just throwing it out there, guys, okay? Onto the bench, guys. We've got Iverson because he's 3.9 million. Really, really cheap goalkeeper. I'm never going to use the backup goalkeeper anyway, so I don't really want to spend 4 million on one, to be honest. I may as well just pick the cheapest one available to me, free up that cash. I've still got Patterson here as well. I'm not really sure whether to switch him to someone else or keep Patterson. Haven't really decided yet for 100%. I still do quite like Patterson, and I've got 0.1 million invested in him that I can't get back if I sell him. So yeah, I could move him to a Nico Williams maybe, but I'd have to spend an extra 0.1 million. Am I going to ever play him? Would I actually prefer to play Andreas over Nico Williams? Probably, in fairness. Am I going to play Sofal over Nico Williams? Probably, in fairness. So this Patterson slot, really, I don't really need to spend any money on it. I mean, in fact, I could arguably drop Patterson down to a 3.9 million defender if I wanted to free up a bit of cash there as well. I'm not saying I'm going to do that, but, you know, when I've got Andreas and Sofal, who are going to be on my bench most of the time, I don't really need a third bench slot, I don't think. And then, of course, guys, we've got Reece James and Zaha on the bench there as well, which is, I think, very nice. I think they're very nice players to have. Reece James, I think, is going to do well under a new Potter system. That's hopefully not going to concede as many goals, going to get some clean sheets. I was actually at the Chelsea game last night, watched Reece James playing live. He was playing really advanced in many parts of the game. Chelsea didn't really concede many chances at all, and there was kind of just a moment where they conceded, obviously. But in general, I think they didn't really give up many chances at all. I think that's probably going to continue. Chelsea have got some decent fixtures coming up as well. Reece James, I just think, is a very, very solid pick and one of the few more expensive defenders that I actually have any confidence in whatsoever. So he's going to be sticking around. And I've got Zaha there as well. Obviously, no fixture this week, but he's plays Chelsea in game week 9. But then from game week 10... Zaha just has some absolutely crazy good fixtures. We know he's been in fantastic form as well so far this season. One of the form players of the year so far. So overall, Zaha I just think is a fantastic pick. Plus he's got an amazing array of neck tattoos, which I'm sure we all love to see. So yeah, Zaha and Reece James. Ordinarily, on next game week, for example, he's probably going to be Sofal on the bench, Andreas on the bench, and then Reece James and Zaha will come on. Patterson will move to the last spot in the bench. very rarely, if ever, get used. And that would kind of be my team kind of set up like that. Like I said, there are a few things that could change. Like I could potentially take out Kane and Saint-Maximin and replace them with Isak and De Bruyne, for example. I could maybe upgrade Saint-Maximin to a Bowen or a Foden if I wanted to. The only thing puts me off De Bruyne's and Foden's is that that game week, I can't remember what it is. It's game week 12 or something like that, where Arsenal were meant to be playing Manchester City. It's a midweek game, and that's actually been cancelled. That's actually been moved, postponed, if you will. So Arsenal and Man City are going to have a blank game week at some point in the not so distant future, which puts me off tripling up on these Man City players a little bit. So I just wanted to throw that one out there as to why I'm not going for De Bruyne. I just feel like I'm happy with Kane, and I don't want to be too invested in Man City and Arsenal. If I am, I'm going to really depend on my bench, which I don't really want to. And I've got the best ones, right? Haaland, Martinelli, Cancelo. I think most people will agree they are the three best players from Man City and Arsenal combined. In terms of FPL assets, I'm not trying to say that these players are better. I'm not trying to say Martinelli's better than De Bruyne before you get your pitchforks out. I'm just saying they're good FPL options. So, yeah, that's my wildcard team as it stands right now. I think it looks really good. I appreciate it's probably not going to be to everyone's taste. There's a couple of nice differentials that I really like in there. We've got Sofal as a differential. We've got Maddison as a differential. Saint-Maximin's still super low ownership. Kane is still in there, which I don't think too many people are going to be going for. And we've obviously got the likes of Zaha on the bench as well, which could be a pretty nice differential to own as well, because I think a lot of people who are still actively playing the game have actually now sold Zaha. So I still think he's going to be a bit of a differential for us active players. So yeah, hopefully this brand new start, this fresh start, is going to be the fresh start I need to finally kickstart my season. I mean, every week I feel like I'm praying for a kick start to this season, and then you get like the disaster game weeks where everyone scores low, then you get whole game weeks cancelled. But now we know what we've got finally this game week, and we can start again with a completely fresh new team that I think is going to do the business. So fingers crossed, lots of differentials in there to try and help me climb those ranks, get ahead of people. I'm looking forward to seeing how this team performs. I really am. Captain's armband on Kane. Let's go, baby. I just think it's the best. I think it's the best fixture, like, of any individual players versus individual teams. Obviously, Haaland is going to be vice captain, but I think if I'm going to take some risks, and I still want to keep taking risks, I'm not going to recommend those risks to you. I'll still recommend to you guys that you pick Haaland as your captain. But for me, I want to take a bit of a risk, and I genuinely do believe that Kane is the better captain pick for this game week. I think Wolves is a little bit of a tough game. It's a little bit of a bogey team for Manchester City, and although I can see probably Man City scoring a couple of goals against them, I can't see a mega hauls, and I can see a mega haul as a real potential thing that could happen from Harry Kane against Leicester. So yeah, Haaland, I wouldn't be surprised if you got, 10 plus points. But Kane, I'm really searching for that 15 to 20 point. I'm searching for that, and maybe even a 20 point plus. That would be incredible, wouldn't it? But I'm not counting on that one too much. But yeah, I genuinely believe it's the best captain, and therefore it makes sense for me to, as someone who has nothing to lose, I can afford to take that risk on captaincy in a way. So it's spice season, guys. We are going spicy. We are going to go with some outlandish things in our FPL team, and we're going to have some fun, because that's what FPL should be about at the end of the day. And, if you're not getting stressed and competing, you may as well be having some fun, guys? Very quickly, guys, I just wanted to show you my team as well on the Fantasy Football Hub My Team tool. It's got an 89% rating, so just did want to forewarn you about that. And that's mostly due to these midfielders. So Saint-Maximin, him being an injury doubt has really put his points down in the algorithm. And Maddison, the fact that he plays Spurs away, has put him down in the algorithm. So maybe Maddison is not the perfect pick for this game week. And obviously Andreas, being who he is got pretty low predicted points. But I actually do think he has a potential to do a little bit more in this Nottingham Forest game. But in general, this team is actually rating really highly on the My Team tool. It's just the midfield that seems to be causing problems, with the exception of Martinelli. If you throw in, he's changed, Saint-Maximin to a Foden, for example, and you're going to see it. You're going to see that go up. So that's up to a 92% immediately. So yeah, you can mess around with this team a little bit to get it up to a really high algorithm rating on the My Team tool on Fantasy Football Hub. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you did enjoy this video, please do leave a like. Please do subscribe if you're new around here as well. Don't forget to check out Ultimate Champions, link in the description, and join my league as well. I want to compete against you guys. Obviously, Fantasy Football Hub tools are still all there for you guys to use. They've got a discount going on at the moment, so make sure you click link in the description if you want to go check those things out. And yeah, that's pretty much it from me today. I still got to do my experts wildcard draft. That will be coming tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. I will do that as promised. But until then, guys, I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.